All right, guys, I want to say thank you to Heath for coming out here again. He's in town because we have the ADCC going on in Miami this weekend. So there's another great opportunity to bring him in here to teach us some tactics and strategies for ADCC. He's an encyclopedia. This is why I like bringing him so much, because it really helps the gym with developing your guys' mindset and tactics for that rule set in particular. Rep, over 4,000 matches?
Probably something around there, yeah.
And has repped at the ADCC Worlds at the highest level, so he's really seen it all. So happy to have him. Thanks for coming out. And
thanks for the great introduction. Yeah, so like Corey said, I've done, I don't even know how many matches, probably 3,000 or 4,000 matches. And so that's the perspective that I look at jiu-jitsu from. My training partners back home, they always tell me that they hate rolling with me because the whole time I'm rolling, I'm just trying to break ADCC rules, so I'm not doing like normal stuff. They're like, why did you let me pass your guard and spend the entire round just not getting pinned or whatever? Because if you don't know, you have to get the pin and the pass in order to score an ADCC. So that's the perspective that we're gonna look at today. And we're gonna look at a topic that I've been working on for the last couple months, which is finishing the guard pass. And actually, we're gonna look at some techniques that, of course, nothing is ever new in jiu-jitsu, but I invented this technique, one of them that we're gonna look at later, and I've named it. I'll tell you what it's called when we get there, but I gotta build some suspense first. But that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna basically look at a series of pinning grips that we can use to keep people on their back when you pass. So how many of you guys have you pass someone's guard and then they turtle? Maybe you're in competition, you don't score, or maybe you're just in the gym and they turtle and then, now you try to take their back and then you fall off. Maybe you end up on bottom and you were on top, right? Has that happened to you guys before? Yeah? Okay, good. Because otherwise the seminar would be pretty useless, but okay, good that it's happened to you guys. So that's what we're gonna look at today. I stole most of it from folk style wrestling, but it's gonna be super fun. That said, the seminar is donation based. I like to do it that way because typically you would charge anywhere between $50 or $100 for a seminar like this. But if I want everybody to be able to come, so if you're pinched for money, then it's totally fine. Leave whatever you can, but definitely don't leave without leaving something. I've also got the shirts, so if you just want to buy a shirt, that's totally fine as well. They're 25 bucks, and I thought I brought more sticker packs. There's only 3 there, and if you guys want to grab one of the head stickers, those are completely free. So if you want to Heath the Ref sticker on your water bottle, or you want to tag Cape Coral, I know there's already, where's that restaurant? Or there's already a Heath the Ref sticker at Urban Buzz, so you can tag the whole city if you want. But yes, without further ado, let's get started. I actually had a weird knee injury on Monday, so we're gonna be using Alejandro and Landry, wherever they are, to demonstrate the techniques. We're gonna do some John Donahere outside of the thing coaching. So so what's the main problem that we have? And I think that we've kind of covered this in a few seminars that I've done here. How many of you guys went to at least one of the other seminars that I did here? Okay, yeah, a good number. So we'll kind of speed run the first part so that we can get to the juicy details. So the big issue here is that whenever Alejandro goes to pass the guard, in order to score points, so he passes the guard, right, whatever way he does it, in order to score points, he has to pin 75% of Landry's back on the mat for 3 seconds with control. And if any of those ever change, like it goes from 75 to 50%, or he loses control, then the timer resets. So it's not like 3 total seconds, it's 3 consecutive seconds, okay? So let's say he's passed, he pins Landry, and then she bridges up. Okay, now, bridge up onto your side. Yeah, now he pins her back down. 1, 2, she bridges up again. Now he pins her back down again. 1, 2, right? So every time she breaks that, then we're not gonna be able to score points. And so, and of course, if you're not doing point stuff, you still wanna prevent this guy from turtling up, and then you try to take their back and you lose it or whatever. We wanna, if we pass the guard, we worked hard to get there, so we wanna maintain that position. So we wanna use our our ability to keep their back flat on the mat to put pressure on them, and then we'll be able to attack mount and all this other stuff. So What we're gonna look at first is the position that you wanna get to in order to pin somebody. From this position, it is super, super hard for somebody to get their back off the mat. So just show the position really quick, Alejandro, the finishing position. It's called an over-under side control. So he has here an underhook on this side, an overhook on the other side, and a head block on this side. When Landry goes to turn away, all Alejandro has to do is sprawl his weight back in a way, and she can try as hard as she wants. She can bridge, put her feet in the mat, do whatever. And because his chest is driving directly into her shoulder into the mat, she's never going to be able to get up. It's super, super hard. Okay. Now, when Landry goes to turn into him, we have a slightly different problem. Okay. She could roll like a log, but this position is so good because Alejandro can now pull up on her elbow as she turns in and walk back into her hip. Yeah. Walk back. Yeah. Like this. Exactly. Yeah. He keeps his head on the mat the whole time, okay? He doesn't have to even move his head at all, okay? This is the position that we want to be in, all right? So as Landry goes to turn away, he's going to sprawl his chest into her shoulder, and as she goes to turn in, he's going to walk his hip in and pull up on her elbow, all right? So this is the over-under side control, all right? So I want you guys to feel that first, and then we're going to go into realistic ways to get to that position, and then the whole thing is going to be, you know, if we can't get there, we have a tough time getting there, what are the grips that we can use that lead to that position? Okay, so the over-under side control, feel it, have your partner turn one way, turn the other way, and just one more time to emphasize, it's an underhook and a head block, okay? Your forehead is touching the mat, right? I like to tell people if you can get like your hairline on the mat, and if you don't have a hairline anymore, then just put what used to be there on the mat, okay? And feel this position, have your partner go side to side, try to get up, get out, she's turning, yeah. And we're able to shut out her knees so she can't knee elbow escape. And we're able to prevent her from turning to turtle. And then once she chills out in this position, then that's when we can start transitioning and stuff. Notice how Alejandro's head is not on the far side. On the far side? Yeah. If his head was here, then she would have much more opportunities to turn away. Yeah, turn away. There's a bunch of stuff that you can do to turn away. Okay, so the head is on the near side. So feel that over-under side control position, and then we'll go into realistic ways to get there. Got it? 1, 2. So we want to know how to pin people, and the best way to pin people is to get to this position. But if I just tell you get to that position, you don't know how to get to that position, it's not a very good seminar, okay? So this is like part passing, but mostly focused on the pinning part. So we're going to look at a really basic half guard pass that leads directly into this position. So Landry's going to start on her back. Alejandro is going to start standing. Now, when we pass a supine guard, we never present our legs first. You present your legs first, so just walk forward. She entangles your legs, and now she has opportunities to attack you. All right? So we have an advantage on top because we can move and she can't, and that's what we're going to capitalize on here. So Alejandro is going to go out with his head low and his hands in front. He's going to take grips down by the ankles. Okay? If he grips up near the knees or shins, Landry can always pummel her feet inside of the biceps, and any time that Alejandro builds a good angle, she can always use her feet on the biceps to square back up. So you're never going to pass somebody's guard like this. So Alejandro comes out in a good athletic stance, leaning forward, and he touches the ankles, right, really low. Now from here, he's going to build angle. Okay, he builds a good angle, and now his goal is to get to chest half guard. So he's going to drop his left hand to the hip, his right hand to the knee, and he's going to stuff the knee inside, and inside between your legs. He's going to stuff the knee inside and step over it while locking up a chest-to-chest half guard. Boom, here. Okay, so he uses the Toreando pass to get to the chest-to-chest half guard. All right, now from here, I'm sure that a lot of you guys know good passes from here, but most of them don't end in that over-under north-south. And so let's say Alejandro was able to pass the guard from here. Now Landry turns up to turtle, however she does it. Yeah, exactly. And now we're chasing the back, but, you know, maybe we lose the back or whatever. This is not ideal. So let's go back. So we start standing with that good distance. We come out and make contact with the ankles. We get our good angle. We block the top knee with our head and our forearm so that she can't get the knee shield in. Now our right hand goes down to the knee, and we stuff the leg between our legs as we drop into half guard. Notice here how Alejandro is over top of the knee. Okay, we don't want to be in a half guard where this knee is in front, because now Landry can just push away, and yes, this is not good. So back to half guard. He's pinched in, his knees are nice and high, and this foot is back like this, right? Now when Landry goes to bridge into him, she's gonna have a hard time. When she goes to turn away, it's also gonna be difficult because her leg is trapped. This is a great position. Now from here, all Alejandro is gonna do is he's gonna transfer his head to the other side. Now it's important how he does it. Go back, Alejandro takes his head up in the air, Landry pummels in a reverse crossface and is able to use this to make space and get out. So instead, what Alejandro is gonna do is he's gonna slump his body back so his head goes down underneath her chin. Now he comes in. He can use his trap, like roll your shoulder forward. He can use his trap to lift her head up to make her look towards the ceiling, so make her a lot more uncomfortable. Now from here, again, he's gonna post all of his weight on that hairline and tripod up. Now, in order to free this knee, it's gonna be very difficult. We have to use the other leg. We have to get the other leg involved. Sometimes people like to lift this heel to the butt and pummel the butterfly hook on top. And that can be good, but you have no base and she could off balance you and start to move you around and stuff. So what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna start walking to the left, right? Now, we don't need to walk her knees to point all the way to the left. We just need them to point towards the ceiling. And in this way, we can fit this knee inside of the pocket of her hip. Keep your foot on the mat. Once the right knee is inside the pocket of the hip, the left knee comes out. Okay, so go back, just one step. So the right knee goes into the pocket of the hip. Landry, hold on tight and high. Get that knee nice in the pocket of the hip here. Now, he can shimmy, and push, and he'll always be able to free his knee. Once his knee is free, he knee cuts to the right and keeps his head on the mat. From here now, you don't want to be sitting out like this because a strong opponent will bridge you over, right? You want to keep your hips facing towards the ground. And now from here, look how we passed the half guard directly into the over-under north-south. The over-under side control. Okay, and now you can again test your partner's ability to turn. As they turn away from you, you sprawl in, and as they turn into you, you lift the elbow and walk your hip into their hip. Okay, so let's go back, stand up now. So we have two players here, a supine and a standing. The standing player is gonna make contact with the ankles. He's gonna get that good angle and his head nice and low. Now he's gonna use the Toreando pass to force chest-to-chest half guard. Beautiful. Notice how he's always going over the top of this knee. That way Landry has nothing to push with. Okay, from here now, he's locked up his crossface and his underhook. Now he's gonna pummel his head to the other side by slumping down and driving his shoulder into her chin to make her look towards the ceiling. From here, if he wants to make it even tighter, he can take his left hand all the way to the far trap or the neck. Yes, beautiful. Landry, your neck looks super comfortable. Okay, now from here, Alejandro can post his hand out on the mat for base if he needs. He doesn't need that right hand anymore. He's gonna tripod up, and notice how when he first tripods, Landry's pointing her knees in that direction. So he walks his feet towards me in order to fit his right knee in the pocket of the hip. Once the right knee goes in the pocket of the hip, the left comes out easily. We knee cut across and keep the head on the mat and keep your hips facing towards the ground, bro. Okay, all right. And we finish in this position. We did this last night on the carpet, and Alejandro really likes to turn his hips. But really, you should keep them facing the ground, because if he turns his hips and Landry is like Kynan or somebody like that, she'll be able to turn him over, especially well-timed. She could turn him over when he sits through. So we really want to keep our hips facing towards the ground here. Okay, and again, as she turns in, he lifts and walks, and as she turns away, he sprawls. Okay, and you go back and forth between those two to pin somebody. Let's do it. 1, 2. Guard, and you end up in a less than ideal position. And we need to know how to get to one of these ideal positions that we're looking at to pin. Okay, so we're gonna look at a body lock pass next. I always want to show my techniques with realistic entries and stuff so that you guys can use them immediately. So that's what we're gonna do here. So Landry is gonna be playing a seated guard, and Alejandro approaches on his knees this time. Maybe he knows that Landry is a savage leg locker, and you know he wants to keep his legs nice and safe, so he stays down. So he's gonna attack the body lock pass now. In order to do the body lock pass, he needs to penetrate his hands underneath her elbows. He needs to get inside space, okay? If he tries to body lock over the top of Landry's elbows, all she's gonna do is elevate him, butterfly sweep. Yeah, this is bad, okay? So we need to somehow force a good player's elbows away from their body in order to get that inside position to start going for the body lock pass. the way that I like to do this is I take the back of my hand and put it on the outside of her knee. Close the distance a little bit. So we're playing here, all right? He's gonna take the outside of his hand, the back of his hand and put it on the outside of her knee. Now with a simple push, Landry posts her hand on the mat. If she doesn't post her hand on the mat, then, so go back. Let's say you keep the elbows tight. He does this, she doesn't post her hand on the mat. She falls all the way over and now he's smashing her. This is bad, nobody's gonna actually do this. They're all gonna post the hand on the mat. So, he pushes, she posts. Now he's gonna take his left hand and put it on the hip and pummel the right hand underneath for the underhook. This way you only have to pummel for one underhook. Shoots in for the body lock pass. Now, go back. Instead of driving her shoulders into the mat by pushing forward, which can be risky. So if he just drives forward, she can butterfly sweep him straight over the top. Something like that, yeah? Okay. Something like that will happen. What we wanna do is we lock up the body lock. So show me your ability to force her hands to the mat first. And pummel for inside position. Now, stay up, Landry. We get to this position. Instead of driving her into the mat with our head and shoulders, we're gonna pull our hands in and walk our knees forward. Yes, and that's how we get her to the mat. Now there's no risk of her butterfly sweeping you as you commit your weight forward to force her back to the mat. Now we're ready to pass the guard. Rotate 90 degrees for me. Okay, so we could do a half guard, a body lock pass that lands in half guard, and that would be a great way to go because you can go to half guard, you can go to your head block and underhook and pass straight from there and land in the good position. And that's totally something that you can do. But we're gonna look at something slightly different so that we can look at different techniques. So what Alejandro's gonna do is he's gonna take his left knee and put it right on Landry's tailbone. Now, with his left knee on the tailbone, he's got her foot compressed, her heel compressed to her butt. He's gonna scissor his right leg back and replace his left knee with his right knee. This position is called a 2-on-1 shin. If you've never had success with body lock passing, do this position. This is the single best position to body lock pass from. Why? Well, whenever Alejandro steps over the knee here and passes the guard, he's not tied up in the half guard because he already beat the leg before he passed the guard. So from here now, it can be difficult to pin somebody. A good person is never gonna let you just stay here and keep their back on the mat. They're gonna start moving, right? They're gonna start doing all these things that people like to do to get up to turtle and prevent the points. So we're gonna use our head positioning similarly to the way that we did it before to pin Landry down. So Alejandro's gonna take his head up and split her ear from her shoulder. Okay, this is the important detail. The side matters for this. If Landry is turning into him and he splits on this side, this is good. He can now drop his chest into her shoulder and pin her. But if she switches to the other side, notice how she can start off balancing him and messing up the position. So as he feels Landry turn in, his head is on this side. Then when he feels her turn the other way, he switches his head to the other side, and he's always using his chest, expanding and dropping into her shoulder to pin her down. As she tries to turn away, she finds no success. She switches back to turning into him. He flips his head to the other side, splitting the ear and shoulder. And as always, he's driving his chest into the shoulder, okay? So the key here, rotate 180 for me. Yep. The key here is that as you finish the body lock pass, so go back just a step so that you're here. As you finish the body lock pass, you anticipate the direction that she wants to turn. You can usually feel it before you even pass the guard. If he feels that Landry is starting to turn into her, he focuses on splitting her ear and shoulder with his head. And as she turns in, he drives his chest into her shoulder. As she switches and turns away, he switches the side of his head and always emphasizing expanding your chest to drop it into her shoulder, right? And in this way, we can pin somebody. Now, once we get to this position, if we really want to solidify it, we're just going to take that left hand, whip it over the top, and grab our over-under side control. And now we're in our ideal finishing position. But we have to use the head positioning in order to get here. So we might have to go back and forth a few times until we can get it on the near side, flick that hand out, and grab the tricep to finish. All right? So one more time. Landry is a savvy leg locker, and so Alejandro's gonna approach the guard on his knees now. She's also smart and keeps her elbows in tight. So in order to force the elbows away from the body, he's going to put the back of his hand on her knee and pop the hand out. Now the left hand comes into the hip. Notice how his elbow is just inside of the hip here, okay? He's not fully committing yet. He's just going inside the hip. Now the right hand pummels, also to the hip, and now he can lock the body lock. Again, he pulls her in and walks his knees forward in order to knock her back to the mat. He doesn't drive in. If you drive in, you'll get butterfly swept. Okay, now he's gonna take his knee to her tailbone, scissor the legs, and get to the 2-on-1 shin. From the 2-on-1 shin, it's pretty easy now to step over the knee and pass the guard. And as always, he's keeping his hips facing the ground, okay? Now he feels Landry start to turn one way or the other. It doesn't matter now. He focuses on splitting the ear and shoulder. You can keep your lock low on their body. The important thing is that your head is up nice and high. As she turns away, he drops his chest in. As she turns in, he turns his head to the other side, and he feels her turn away one more time. He switches to that near side head, flicks his left arm out and over the top of the tricep in order to get the over, under, north, south, and finish the pass. Let's do it. 1, 2. Some of you guys may have noticed that this technique, or this series of head movements, only works when you can split their ear and shoulder apart with your head. But it happens a lot that they're able to get their ear and shoulder together and you can't split it with your head, so what do? So we're gonna do the same body lock pass. This time we'll add another slight variation of the backhand method. We're gonna use a collar tie now. So Alejandro, so sometimes it's not enough to just hit the outside of the knee, or maybe Landry's got really flexible hips and she plays with her butterfly guard and her legs are like really, really close to the mat. Okay, what we can do in these instances is just reach up, grab a collar tie, and force her hand to the mat using the collar tie. Exactly. Now, we pummel in, we get that same hip grip, pull, and lock. Yes, exactly. And headbutt your training partner. Okay, now we get to the 2-on-1 shin. Boom, and we step over. Now, a couple of you guys asked this question. Again, he's keeping his hips facing the mat the whole time. Okay, so some of you guys asked this question, like, my head feels really low. So what do I do? Well, the answer is get your head higher, but sometimes that's not enough. And this guy is good, and they get their ear and shoulder connected and start turning up into you, okay? Now, when this happens, you're gonna take your hand out underneath her arm and behind her head. This is called a half Nelson, okay? So go back to the body lock, rotate 180 degrees so that everyone can see. More. Okay, good. So Landry is good at connecting her ear and shoulder together, and she starts turning in, all right? In this instance, we go half Nelson. So our hand comes out of the body lock. We go underneath the arm, over the top of the head. Some people like to go onto the chin. That's totally acceptable. Or you can just go onto the shoulder. That's just like this. This is also fine for our purposes, okay? Always thinking about dropping the chest into the shoulder, okay? From here now, he's gonna be able to drive Landry's shoulder back into the mat and pin. As she tries to turn up into him now, it's impossible. It's not gonna happen, okay? But again, we have the problem, this back and forth problem, whereas Landry goes to turn in, she feels that it's hard, she turns the other way. And if she does nothing here, because she can connect her ear and shoulder together, she can spin inside of his hands like a hot dog on a gas station rotisserie. And you never been to a gas station? Yeah, you just do what you did. Yeah, so she'll be able to spin inside of his grips, okay? So Alejandro is gonna switch from a half Nelson to a reverse Nelson. So as he feels the arm is coming up, she's starting to turn, he's gonna lose it. He just fits the elbow in and focuses, so this looks like normal side control, but don't think about it as normal side control. This is a pinning position, okay? He focuses on taking all of his weight over the top of this shoulder and sprawling. As Landry goes to turn away now, it's very, very, very difficult, okay? And then from here, if Alejandro wants to upgrade his grips, he can drop his head. You can keep your hand at the tight waist. Yeah, drop his head and switch to the over-under to finish the pin. So we go from a half Nelson to stop them from turning in to a reverse Nelson to stop them from turning away. So let's go back to the beginning. Maybe you guys can do it facing this way. Yeah. No, that was good. That was right. Face me. Yeah. Okay. So Alejandro approaches on his knees this time, and he feels like, man, I'm not going to be able to get her hands to the mat just with this backhanded method. So he's gonna go with the collar tie method, collar ties her to get that hand to the mat. The nice thing about the collar tie method is that his elbow is already inside of the bicep. So he just pummels his elbow in first. Now he's got that grip. He locks up, pulls her in, and walks his knees forward, and now he's in. He goes for that 2-on-1 shin and steps over the knee. Now this time his head is a little low. He's a little slow, late to the party. She starts to turn in. He's not gonna score. He's not gonna pin her. Maybe she turns to turtle. Now he has to fight the back. Maybe he falls off and he ends up on bottom. This is bad for him. So he's gonna punch in that half Nelson underneath it. Go back. Underneath the arm. Look how he just goes under the arm, over the head, and he focuses on driving his chest into the shoulder. Now as Landry goes to turn in, it's very difficult. As she goes to turn away, he switches the half to a reverse and focuses not on cross-facing her. The cross-face is to stop her from turning in, right? She's turning away. He focuses on dropping his chest over top. Bring your elbow back. Bring your elbow back here, like this. Move here, like this. There. Dropping his chest over top of her shoulder. Now as she goes to turn away, it's very, very difficult. He can fit his head to the mat, go to that overhook, and now he's in the nice over-under side control position to finish the pass. Got it? Let's try it. 1, 2. Half Nelson to reverse Nelson. It's called the ref drag for obvious reasons, because I'm the ref, and I invented it by me and now by all of you. Okay? So if anyone asks you what you learned, just say you learned the ref drag, and people are going to be like, what's that? Even if you don't remember, just be like, it's really cool. Like, you wouldn't understand. So this is I basically came up with this problem because that's a solution to a problem that I was having, and that is, how do we pin the head and shoulders in ADCC? And so what we just looked at is basically, especially with the half guard, is how to pin the head and shoulders before we pass the legs, okay? Nobody is turning to turtle when their legs are still in front of them, right? Everybody turns to turtle after you pass the legs. So if you can ever pin the head and shoulders before you pass the legs, then amazing. But a really, really, really effective form of passing is toreando passing. In all toreando passes, you pass the leg before you control the head and shoulders. And this is where the ref drag comes in. You do a normal toreando pass. So show me a toreando pass. And you just try to finish with whatever. Landry is almost always going to be able to turn out and away and get up to turtle. Okay? Now, my solution to this is very, very similar to a suck back. If you guys have ever done wrestling, this is very similar to a suck back, but it's slightly different, so I get to name it. It's called the ref drag. Okay, so again, we come out, we take those nice grips on the ankles, and we cut our angle. Now, for this toreando pass, we're gonna emphasize get more angle, the head coming to the rib cage before the hands disconnect. Stay up on your feet, yeah. The head touches the rib cage, and then we switch to a hip and knee post. Hip and knee. Now, why do we do this? Go back to the ankles. If our head is up high, ankles. If the head is up high, we get an angle and switch the grips without putting our head low first. All Landry's gonna do is pummel her right leg in front of the bicep, probably the other way. The whole, like the ankle. Lasso, yeah. Yes, and now whenever Alejandro goes to pass, he passes straight onto her shin. Yeah, and she has a pretty good position from here. This is really frustrating. So what we're gonna do to solve that is that as he gets that nice angle, he comes out to the side and he drops his head onto the rib. Now when he switches his hands and Landry goes to put in the lasso, head touches the ribs. Yeah, she's shut out. It's never gonna happen, okay? From here now, he can pass her legs through and drop to his knees. Now, what everybody does, they start to turn and they bring their elbows in, okay? Because nobody wants, everybody in jiu-jitsu, their immediate reaction is to pull their elbows in. You don't want to be overextended, right? As she does this, rotate 180 degrees for me. He is going to take the ref drag grip, and that is a grip on her bicep. He's going to put his elbow behind her rib cage, and his shoulder, this is the most important thing, okay? If you don't do this right, you will not have success. His shoulder goes above her elbow, okay? Also, a mistake that people make is this, they take this hand all the way up to the shoulder, like grab her, yeah, like a real suck back, okay? The angle is slightly different, so if you're used to suck backs from wrestling, that's not how we're doing it. We're doing it with a hand on the bicep. Now, Alejandro's whole goal is gonna be to drive the tip of his shoulder between her elbow and rib cage, Yes, exactly, just like this. Now, you can see, you can't rotate again 180 for me. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, so you can see now how his shoulder is above her elbow and splitting the elbow and rib cage apart. Okay, this is what we're always thinking about pinning. We want to get the elbows apart from the rib cage and the ear away from the shoulder, right? Or the shoulder away from the ear, rather. All right, and now as Landry goes to turn away, it's pretty much impossible, okay? We're gonna look at one way that you can make it really easy, and then the solution to that. All right, and now from here, as Landry continues to turn away, Alejandro is gonna take a stockade grip. A stockade grip is this snaking grip where you go behind the head and into the armpit. Okay, so rotate 180 for me again. So he's gonna take this grip here, right? Where he's got the hand in the armpit and the ref drag grip. Now, Landry goes to turn away. It's impossible because of the ref drag. And when she goes to turn in, Alejandro is gonna lift his right elbow, and that's gonna stop her from turning in. Now, to solidify the pass from here, he's gonna adjust his chest to get the center of his chest right on top of the shoulder and walk slightly more north-south so they're parallel. Now, you just sprawl your weight back. Now from here, Landry goes to move left, move right. The ref drag stops her one way, and the stockade grip with the flare stops her the other way. Okay, and again, we're always playing back and forth. Landry goes to turn one way, stopped with the ref drag, turns the other way, he flares the elbow and punches the hand through. Okay, and in this way, we can super effectively pin. So from the top again, Alejandro comes out. He approaches the guard in an intelligent way where his legs are back, his hands are forward. He grabs the ankles, not the shins, cuts an angle, and touches his head to the ribs before switching the left hand, in this case, to the hip and the right hand to the knee. Now he can use these grips to throw her legs by and pass. As she turns, he catches inside of the bicep there, puts his elbow behind her rib cage, and drives his shoulder between her bicep or her elbow and her rib cage. Now, as she goes to turn away, turn away, turn away, it's not going to happen. He punches that stockade grip in, lifts to stop her from turning in, then shifts his chest over top of the shoulder and runs north-south, little more, little more, little more. And from here, we can very effectively pin our partner. You guys got it? Okay, what's this grip called that we're learning? The ref drag. Nice. Okay, good. We're learning. All right, let's do it. 1, 2.
Yeah, mine's a
So as he goes to turn, so he's gonna bring his hand in like this. As he goes to turn away, this hand catches right there. Exactly. Now emphasize your shoulder going above his elbow. Let's see. Here, like this. Now drive the tip of your shoulder in between. Yes. Now go to turn away. Turn away. Just turn away for now. Yeah, just keep turning away, turn away, turn away. Now you're gonna reach your right arm through, grab that stockade grip. No, you're still turning away. So you're gonna go under his head, in front of his armpit, as deep as you can. Now when he goes to turn in, we just give a little lift. We can drop our chest onto his shoulder, focus on chest to the shoulder, and now walk north-south. Yeah, exactly. Punch that right arm deep as you can. Nice, that's it. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so we had a good question, which was, well, come on. These guys aren't that stupid, like they're gonna turn into you, right? So Alejandro does his Toriano pass. Boom, and she turns away. No, she turns away. He grabs the ref drag and flattens her out. Now, before he can get the stockade grip, what happens if she starts to turn into you? The ref drag is gonna do nothing here, okay? But this is the ref drag pinning system. So there's a whole thing here, okay? Now, we talked about how that over-under side control is super effective, and you guys might have heard me misspeak and say over-under north-south. And that wasn't because I'm just stupid. We're gonna do over-under north-south now. So Alejandro, show the position real quick. What is an over-under north-south? Yes. With your hips on the other side of the head. Hips on the other side of the head. Okay. This is over-under north-south. This is so good because we have the same control as the over-under side control. When Landry goes to turn one way, all Alejandro has to do is pull up on the bottom shoulder. So she turns one way. So she's turning that way. The bottom shoulder is her right shoulder. He pulls up on it. Now she can't turn that way. She turns the other way. Now he pulls up on the other shoulder. Constantly keeping his head to the mat, okay? And this position is one of the best positions that you can get to. This and side control. Over under side control, over under north south. These are the best positions, okay? So let's go back to the ref drag. So we pass our guard and we get to our ref drag. Now, Landry feels the ref drag and she starts turning in, so turning slowly. All Alejandro is gonna do is take this hand and fit it in front of her armpit, okay? Here like this, all right? Everybody is gonna make the mistake of going here. You're not gonna end up in an over under north-south, you're gonna end up in a double under north-south. So we need to go here. Now, he's gonna run his hips all the way around to the other side, scoop up that elbow with your hand, and now we're in the position, okay? Then again, she turns one way, she turns the other way, and we're good to go. So let's start back from the beginning. Rotate for me. So Alejandro passes, and he grabs the ref drag. Now, here's a cool detail that you guys can use. Landry, go up a little bit more. So whenever people are less than 90 degrees off the mat, it's pretty easy to just pull them down. If people start to get slightly more than 90 degrees off the mat, Alejandro's gonna take his right hand, post it out on the mat, and he's gonna pull, 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 and now that breaks her down to the mat. She feels, oh crap, I'm gonna get pinned here, I need to turn in. Alejandro fits his right hand in front of her armpit, runs around to the other side, scoops up the elbows, and now he's in ready to pin. So in this way, we switch from the ref drag to over under north south, which is the opposite position from over under side control, but just as good, okay? One more time for the people at home. Toreando pass, head comes down first, switch, clear, ref drag. Maybe she's up a little bit high. He has to fit the elbow behind the rib cage in order for this to work. He posts on the mat, pull, pull, pull. Now as she turns in, he flicks that right hand over the top and runs, finishing with his head on the mat as always. Okay? Let's do it. 1, 2. Situation, and then we'll demonstrate it for you guys, and then we'll break out and let you practice it on your own so that you can work on putting all these grips together. I showed most of them sort of in a sequence, but in reality, you don't have to do them in a sequence. If you lose your ref drag and see that a half Nelson is there, switch to the half Nelson. If you're passing and you feel like you can fit in a reverse Nelson rather than a ref drag, then go for that instead, right? They all work together fairly well. So we're gonna have 2 volunteers come out. Josh, you wanna do this? Come on. And Alejandro. They kind of got voluntold. They didn't really volunteer. So here's how it's gonna work. So Jocelyn is gonna be playing. Can you scoot back a little bit for me? Thank you. Okay, so Jocelyn's gonna be playing guard here, and Alejandro is gonna be passing. Now, for 5, 10, 15 seconds, Alejandro is going to apply passing pressure with whatever pass he wants. And then Jocelyn is gonna let him pass. And that's when the game starts, okay? Alejandro wins by pinning Jocelyn with control, 75% of her back on the mat for 3 seconds. And all Jocelyn has to do is turn to turtle and go back to guard or stand up or whatever without getting her back taken. So Alejandro can win 2 ways. One way is taking the back, one way is pinning. We want to emphasize the pinning one, okay? But if you get your back taken from bottom, that's also bad, all right? And Jocelyn's job is to get her guard back, stand up, do whatever she needs to do to not get pinned and not get passed, okay? So we'll go slow at first, and then as we build up in our confidence with the drill, then we'll go a little bit faster, and then I'll break you guys out once you kind of see how it works, okay? So Alejandro, give me like some good passing pressure for like 15 seconds, and Jocelyn, just retain your guard lightly. Yeah, just retaining. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now let him pass, Joss. And now we're escaping the pin. Now you gotta escape the pin. Don't get pinned here. Don't get pinned. Let him pass again. Now try to turn to turtle and he's gonna try to pin you. Okay, go. Don't let your back get on the mat. Don't let your back get on the mat. Nice, good. Nice work. Nice one, nice. Switch to the reverse Nelson. Beautiful work. That's it. Don't get that back pinned on the mat, Jocelyn. Nice work. Way to keep it up. Way to keep it up. Now half Nelson again. Good job. Now back to your guard, Justin. Don't let your back get taken. Good. All right, so you see how he had to play between a variety of grips. He used the head position, he used the half Nelson, he used the reverse Nelson, and he was able to keep Jocelyn in a cycle of being pinned. Now she did a good job of turning up to turtle, and as soon as he went to take the back, she escaped. So this is what you have to understand. If you want to use this for ADCC, you have to keep going for the pin until the pin just completely fails. Then you can go for the back. Because as soon as you go for the back, you lose the pin, and oftentimes you lose the back as well. So let's switch now, top and bottom. So just 10 seconds of light passing pressure and light guard retention. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now let her pass, and now go for the pin escape. Escape the pin. Nice ref drag. Oh, let's go. Good work. Beautiful. Switch to it. That's it. No switch needed. Nice. Now escape the back. Don't let her take the back. Yes. Good. That's good. So notice how Jocelyn went for the back, and then when she tried to go back for the pin, it was not nearly as good as the first time, right? So the first pin is always going to be better than the subsequent ones, okay? You guys more or less understand how this game works? Okay, I'm going to set a 5-minute timer on my phone. If you guys have any other questions, you can come up to me at this time. We'll do rounds this way. Just switch top and bottom every time. And remember, we do a little bit of light passing pressure, 5 or 10 seconds at most, then let them pass, and that's when the game starts. It doesn't start until you let them pass, and you have to let them pass, okay? Too many times people are like, okay, now go, and then they just go from there. It's about pin prevention and pin maintenance. It's not about guard retention, okay? So let them pass. That's the most important thing for this game. You guys got it? All right, partner up. We'll do a couple 5-minute rounds. 1, 2. During the rounds, you were able to start pinning people. Yeah, which grips did you find most useful? Oh, come on. He's just trying to get a free seminar. No, the ref drag is very, very powerful. It's super easy to get because you only have to be able to fit the side of your hand underneath their elbow, right? Was anybody able to use the over-under side control or the over-under north-south? Once you get there, it's very, very hard for them to escape, right? Yeah, cool. Did anyone have any questions about anything we did today or any problems that you had during the rounds? I'll stay. Yeah.
I feel like when I would start to use the ref drag here, if they could get enough on their side, it was really hard to bring my shoulder over the top. Like I felt like it was hard to bring them back down.
Yeah, so if you can't get your shoulder over the top, you just need your elbow behind their ribs. You can turn even more belly down. So from here, you're gonna post your right hand out on the mat and really emphasize so you can use your knee as a blocker, but pull, pull, pull to start getting her flat, and then once she's flat, the shoulder goes in front, now you can pin. So it's all about getting her, you can't really get the shoulder in front because go back to that position where she's on her side and you got the ref drag. Yeah, so if you were to try to put your shoulder in front of her arm here, you would have to commit your head all the way over the top and she would roll you through. So in this situation, you just need your elbow behind the rib cage. Now you can post, pull, 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 and then once she's facing towards the ceiling, now you can fit your shoulder into place and finish. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good question. Cool, I guess I taught perfectly. Nobody has any questions. So I'm gonna stay, of course I'll stay and answer any questions that people are too shy to ask in the group. But thanks everybody for coming. Again, it's donation based, so just make sure to drop something in the box, or I got Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, everything. I can even take a credit card. And if you want to pick up a shirt or whatever, I appreciate the support. Thanks for having me out here for the 4th time. Hopefully I'll be back again. But yeah, thanks guys.